The Girl in the Mist. The wind was cold on planet Serena 4 that evening. The sky was cloudy and the air smelled like rain. James stood near the edge of the forest, checking the energy tower. He worked as a repair technician in Outpost 17, a small, human station built near the alien forest. Most people stayed away from the trees. They said strange things happened there. James didn't believe in ghost stories. But today, something felt different. As he tightened a metal bolt, he suddenly stopped. The forest behind him had gone quiet. No wind, no birds, no sound at all. Slowly, he turned around. Out of the mist between the trees, someone stepped forward. At first, he thought it was just fog playing tricks on him. But no, someone was really there. A girl. Her skin had a faint glow, soft like starlight. Her hair flowed like silver, and her eyes shined bright violet. She wore a long, thin robe made of some strange, soft material. She looked not fully human, not fully alien either. She took a slow step toward him. James reached for the tool on his belt, just in case, but then she spoke. Her voice was soft and calm. "Do you recognize me, James?" He froze. She knew his name. He stared at her face, trying to remember. Something about her looked familiar. But from where? He had never met an alien woman before. He was sure of it. And yet, those eyes, that smile. "I'm Ayla," she said. "Your childhood neighbor. From Earth." James blinked. His heart beat faster. Ayla. That name pulled something from the past. A face. A little girl with brown hair. They used to play together in the fields before the war. She lived next door when he was a kid, but she had disappeared during the galactic evacuation when Earth was falling apart. He took a step closer. "Ayla, but you vanished years ago." She nodded slowly. "My family was taken by a transport ship. It wasn't human. We thought we'd return. But we didn't. We were adopted by an alien race. They raised me. I changed. But I didn't forget." James looked into her glowing eyes. Deep inside them, he saw a spark that did feel like the girl he once knew. "But how are you here?" he asked. "I've been searching for you," she said. "I finally found a way to come back. I knew you were on Serena 4. I followed your signal. I had to see if you remembered me." James felt his legs go weak. This had to be a dream, right? "You're not human anymore," he said quietly. "I'm still me," Ayla whispered. "But yes. My body is different now. My mind too, a little. But I held on to my memories of you. I promised myself I would return one day." He stared at her, speechless. The wind blew again. The mist around her lifted slightly. Her feet didn't touch the ground. She hovered just a little, like gravity didn't fully control her. James finally found his voice. "If you're really Ayla, then tell me, what game did we always play in the rain?" Her lips curled into a smile. "We used to build mud castles. I always made the towers. You made the moat. And we always ruined them on purpose at the end." His eyes widened. She was right. He stepped closer. "I don't understand. How did you become like this?" "It's a long story," she said. "But I need your help, James. I'm not safe. Others are following me. I came here to find you before they did." James looked around. The forest still seemed quiet, but now his instincts were alert. If someone like Ayla existed, others like her could be watching. "You're in danger?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes. I carry something they want, something powerful. But I trust you, James. I've always trusted you." He looked at her again. This strange, glowing girl from his past. She had come from across the stars to find him. She remembered him after all these years. And now, she needed him. "Come with me," he said quickly. "I know a place where you can hide." As they walked toward the outpost, James kept glancing at her. The girl from his childhood was now something more. Part alien, part human, but fully real, and she had come for him. But deep in the mist, red eyes were watching. Someone else had seen her arrive. She was taken. The door to James's outpost slammed shut behind them. Ayla stood inside, her glowing eyes scanning the small room filled with tools, wires, and old earth posters. She walked slowly, almost like she was remembering something long forgotten. James stared at her from across the room. His hands were shaking slightly, not from fear but confusion. This alien girl who said she was Ayla. She knew too much to be a stranger. "Sit," he said softly, pointing to a stool. "You look tired." She sat down, her glowing hands resting in her lap. James took a breath. "Now tell me the truth, Ayla. Everything." She looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. "It started the day my family left Earth. You remember the chaos? Explosions in the sky, people rushing to escape. Our neighborhood was destroyed. You were hiding in the bunker with your parents. We never got to say goodbye." James nodded slowly. He remembered it all too well. "Our ship was supposed to take us to the Mars colony," Ayla continued, "but something went wrong. The navigation changed. Another ship intercepted us. Alien, but not violent. Not cruel. They were curious." "What kind of aliens?" James asked. "They called themselves the Sarathi. Their skin looked like crystal, and they spoke with light, not words. They studied us, cared for us, and then they offered us a choice." James raised his eyebrows. "A choice?" Ayla nodded. "They said our bodies were too weak for deep space, but they could change us, make us stronger, make us survive. My parents said yes. I was only 12. James felt his stomach twist. "They changed your body?" "Yes, slowly. Over years. I didn't grow up like a normal human. My skin changed. My senses became sharper. But inside, I kept my memories. I wrote your name every night in my journal. I never forgot you." James swallowed hard. "Why didn't you come back sooner?" "I tried," Ayla said. "But the Sarathi don't want contact with humans. They say your kind is dangerous, that Earth is too broken. But I saw your name in a space registry 2 months ago. I escaped, took a ship, and now I'm here." "But if you escaped," James asked slowly, "does that mean they're after you?" She looked down. "Yes, and not just them. Others too. I carry something they want." She reached into her robe and pulled out a small, glowing orb. James stepped back. "What is that?" "It's a memory seed," Ayla said. "It holds the Sarathi's history, the truth about their contact with Earth long ago. They erased it from records, but this proves it." James stared at the orb. It shimmered with moving lights inside. "Like stars trapped in glass. Why give it to me?" he asked. "Because I trust you, and because you're the only one who can help me get it to Earth Command. They won't listen to me, but they might listen to you." James looked at her, unsure. "I'm just a mechanic." "No," she said. "You're the only human I ever trusted." A sudden beep came from the wall screen. Motion detected outside. James ran to the monitor. A shape was moving through the mist. Then another. And another. Drones. "They found me," Ayla said quietly. James turned to her. "How many?" "Too many." He grabbed a bag from under the table. Tools, energy packs, a handheld blaster. "We can't stay here," he said. "There's a tunnel system under the outpost. Smugglers used it years ago. It leads into the canyon." Ayla stood. "Let's go." They opened the floor hatch and climbed down into the dark. As the hatch closed above them, red lights from drones scanned the room they just left. Underground, in the silence, Ayla whispered, "You really don't remember the promise you made me." James blinked. "What promise?" She smiled gently in the dark. "You said, if we ever got separated, you'd find me one day, even if I was in another galaxy." James felt his chest tighten. "I guess I was late." Ayla held his hand. "No, you were right on time." But deep above them, a signal was sent into space. A new hunter had been alerted, and this time, he wasn't coming to talk. The memory crystal. The tunnel was dark, but Ayla's hands lit the way like glowing lanterns. James followed her through the old smuggler path, the damp walls closing in around them. The air smelled of rust and age. Every few steps he looked back, half expecting red-eyed drones to come crashing through the hatch behind them. They didn't. Not yet. But something was following. Ayla stopped suddenly. Her head tilted slightly, like she heard something far away. "What is it?" James whispered. "Not sound," she said. "A feeling." James looked around. The tunnel had split into two paths. One led deeper underground. The other led toward the cliffs, toward possible escape. But Ayla pointed to the deeper path. "There's something here I need to show you," she said. James hesitated. "What is it?" "A piece of who I used to be." They walked for 15 more minutes before entering a small round chamber hidden deep underground. Strange symbols glowed on the walls, symbols that looked both alien and oddly familiar. In the center of the room was a raised platform made of black stone. Ayla stepped forward and placed her glowing hand on the surface. Instantly the platform opened, revealing a small, floating crystal, pulsing with light. James squinted. The crystal shimmered with colors he'd never seen before, blue and gold, dancing like fire and water. "This is it," she said. "The memory crystal." James stepped closer. "What does it do?" "It holds everything," Ayla replied. "My past, your face, our childhood, but also secrets the Sarathi tried to erase from the universe." She turned to James, her voice soft. "You once told me that memories are what make us human. I kept that belief alive inside me." She held the crystal toward him. "Touch it." James looked at her, then at the glowing crystal. His hand trembled. As he reached out, the moment his fingers brushed the surface, his vision exploded. He saw a green field. He was a boy laughing, mud on his face. A little girl ran beside him, Ayla. Human Ayla. They played with sticks, pretended to fight space pirates. Her laugh filled the air. He saw her drawing stars in a notebook, whispering about leaving Earth one day. She had dreams of flying. Then came the explosions. The day the sky turned red. They were running. Alarms screamed. Soldiers pulled families apart. James shouted her name as she was dragged into a strange ship, her hand reaching for his, then gone. The next image was a bright, alien world. Tall, glass-like creatures stood around Ayla. They watched her, tested her, taught her. Her body began to change. But inside, she kept drawing. She kept writing James's name. Years passed. Then she found a signal, his signal, and she followed it. James gasped and fell back, the memory vision ending. Sweat rolled down his face. His heart was racing. "It's true," he said breathlessly. "You really are Ayla." Tears glowed in her eyes. "I never stopped being me. But this crystal, it doesn't just show memories, it stores them. This could prove everything to Earth Command." Ayla nodded. "Yes, but they won't listen unless you show them. You're still human. They trust your voice." James stood up. "Then we'll deliver it. Together." Suddenly, a distant sound echoed through the tunnel. Metal steps. Not human footsteps. Ayla's face changed. "They found us." James grabbed her arm. "We run. Now." But just as they turned, the floor shook. A loud blast echoed behind them. Something had entered the tunnel. They ran into the shadows, the crystal's light tucked safely in Ayla's chest wrap. Behind them, red lights cut through the dark. A new kind of drone followed, sleek, black, and silent. But this time, the machine wasn't looking to capture, it was looking to erase, and it wasn't alone. Hunted by shadows, the tunnel behind them exploded in a flash of red light. James hit the ground hard, shielding Ayla with his body as burning dust flew overhead. The air smelled like melted metal and smoke. Somewhere deep in the tunnel they heard it, the humming sound of machines getting closer. Not just any machines. Hunters. James pulled Ayla to her feet. "We have to move. Now." Ayla looked back, her glowing eyes filled with fear. "Those aren't drones. They're Reapers." James froze for half a second. "You mean the kind that—" "Yes," she said, her voice sharp. "They don't take prisoners." They ran down the old path, their footsteps echoing against the stone. Lights flickered along the walls. Ancient alien systems that hadn't worked in years now sparked with life. "They're activating the whole tunnel system," Ayla said. "They want to trap us." James pointed ahead. "There's a side exit coming up. If we reach the old transport shaft, I can override it." But as they reached the corner, they saw it. A black Reaper unit, 8 feet tall with 4 thin legs and 1 glowing red eye, was blocking the path. Its weapons clicked into position, and its voice came out in a cold whisper: "Surrender the crystal, or be deleted." James raised his blaster, even though he knew it wouldn't help much. Then, without a word, Ayla stepped forward. Her glowing hands lifted and energy danced between her fingers. "Run," she said softly. "What?" "No, Ayla," James shouted. But before he could stop her, she fired a blast of pure light from her palms. It hit the Reaper like a bolt of lightning, shaking the walls and sending sparks flying. The machine stumbled. James grabbed her hand and pulled her back. "That was insane." "I told you," she said, breathing hard. "They made me different." They sprinted past the stunned Reaper as alarms echoed through the entire tunnel system. More machines were coming from above, crawling down walls, slithering through vents, dropping from the ceiling. James pulled a broken pipe loose from the wall and smashed a crawling drone that jumped at them. "We can't win against all of them," he yelled. "We don't need to," Ayla answered. "We just need to reach the surface." They climbed through a rusted hatch and came out inside, an abandoned transport chamber. Old ships and broken shuttles were scattered across the dusty room like forgotten toys. James ran to the control panel and started connecting wires with shaky hands. "Keep watch," he said. Ayla turned to face the entrance. Her body glowed brighter, forming a faint shield around them. Energy pulsed around her like waves. James finished rewiring the panel. "I can get us one jump, but it won't be smooth." "Do it," she shouted. The old platform hummed to life. It shook violently like it hadn't moved in years. Suddenly, bang! The main door burst open, and 3 Reapers rushed in, weapons aimed. James grabbed Ayla's arm and dove onto the platform just as it activated. A bright blue light swallowed them. The Reapers fired, but the shots missed. By 1 second. They landed hard in a forest clearing under twin moons. Ayla groaned and sat up, her robe torn and energy dimming. James checked the crystal, still glowing, still safe. He looked at Ayla. "Are you okay?" She nodded slowly. "Barely." James looked at the sky. "They'll follow us." "Then we don't stop," Ayla said. "There's one more place we can go. An old Sarathi relay tower. If we can reach it, we can send the crystal's memory to Earth Command." James helped her stand. "Then we go." But in the trees above, something was watching. Not a machine this time. Something alive. Something ancient. And it wanted the crystal too. The secret chamber. The alien forest was silent. Too silent. James and Ayla moved through thick, glowing vines and tall silver trees, their footsteps soft on the mossy ground. Strange birds with crystal wings sat quietly above as if watching. Not one made a sound. Ayla's glow was faint now. Her energy was low. She leaned on James as they walked deeper into the jungle. "We're almost there," she whispered. "I remember this place and from the visions the crystal gave me." James scanned the area. "There's nothing here, Ayla, just trees and rocks." "No," she said. "Look again." She knelt down and brushed aside the moss, revealing stone tiles hidden beneath the dirt, ancient, cracked, and carved with glowing blue symbols. "It's Sarathi language," she said. Older than the Empire, older than Earth's first colonies. This place, it's not just a forest, it's a key. James knelt beside her. A key to what? To everything. She touched the center stone. A deep rumble echoed underground. The earth trembled. A perfect circle of ground beneath them sank downward, forming a spiral staircase lit with pale blue light. James blinked. You've got to be kidding me. Welcome, Ayla said with a weak smile, to the place the Sarathi never wanted anyone to find. The stairs led them deep below the forest floor. As they walked, the air grew colder, but not unpleasant. Strange shapes moved within the walls, light patterns that pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Finally, they entered a chamber so wide it could have held a ship. In the center stood a black structure like a flower made of metal and crystal, blooming, in slow motion. Floating above it, an orb much larger than the memory crystal. Ayla gasped. The core. James looked around. What is this place? It's a Sarathi seed vault, Ayla explained. Not for food, for knowledge. It holds the original codes that shaped their race, their history, their truth. Everything. She walked toward the core, her hands glowing again. They feared what humans would do if they knew the Sarathi and humans were once allies, long before war erased that truth. James watched as the core lit up with her presence. Symbols danced around her body, and a soft hum filled the room. Suddenly, a hologram appeared. It showed an image of ancient Earth and a strange, elegant ship landing. Near the sea, tall glowing beings stepped out. Humans welcomed them. Children played at their feet. They came to help us, Ayla said. Long before the records show, they shared knowledge. Then something happened. A war broke out, not between us, but among the stars. The Sarathi erased all ties with humans, to protect themselves. James shook his head. And now the memory crystal contains proof of this? Yes, but it's incomplete. She placed the crystal into a slot near the core. The lights pulsed stronger. Then suddenly, the chamber shivered. A deep sound, like metal groaning under pressure, echoed from behind. James turned. A shadow moved in the doorway. Not a machine. Not a drone. A living being, tall and covered in black armor with a skull-like helmet, stepped into the chamber. Its voice cracked like dry bone. You were never supposed to find this place, hybrid. Ayla stepped forward, shielding the core with her body. I am not a hybrid, she said firmly. I am proof. The being raised a weapon made of dark glass. Then you must be erased. James stepped in front of her, shaking but brave. You'll have to go through both of us. The lights in the chamber flickered. Suddenly the ground shifted, and a second hidden platform rose from the floor. Ayla's eyes widened. A transmission node. We can send everything now, right to Earth Command, James shouted. Then do it, I'll hold him off. No. Ayla grabbed his hand. We do this together. They rushed to the platform, Ayla placing her hand. On the interface, James locking in the Earth coordinates. The armored enemy charged, but they were faster. The node glowed, and the truth of two worlds long forgotten shot into the stars. The transmission. The blast struck James in the chest. He flew backward, hitting the stone floor hard. Blood spilled from his lips. His eyes rolled and everything went blurry. James! Ayla's scream echoed through the chamber. She dropped to her knees beside him, her hands glowing bright blue as she pressed against the wound. He looked up at her, barely breathing. You, okay? He whispered. You idiot, she choked, tears glowing on her cheeks. You jumped in front of me. James smiled faintly. Told you. We do this together. Behind them, the armored enemy reloaded his weapon. But something had changed. The core behind Ayla pulsed violently, as if awakened. The memory crystal inside glowed like a burning star. The ancient transmission platform lit up, symbols floating in the air, beaming toward the sky. Ayla stood up slowly, her body surrounded by crackling blue energy. She faced the enemy. Her voice, was no longer soft, it was powerful. You erased my past, but you won't erase my future. She raised her hands and the chamber exploded in light. The armored figure screamed as a blast of raw Sarathi energy slammed into him. His armor cracked, he fell to his knees, and vanished in a wave of light and dust. Silence. The only sound left was the low hum of the transmission still running. Ayla rushed back to James. He was pale, his breathing slow. No, stay with me, she begged. You can't leave me now. James touched her cheek, blood on his fingers. Did it work? She nodded through tears. Yes. The truth is on its way to Earth Command. They'll know everything. The Alliance, the Sarathi, us. James gave a weak smile. Good. Guess I did something right. Then his hand dropped. Ayla froze. James? No answer, her whole body shook. James, please don't do this. She pressed her forehead to his, whispering ancient Sarathi words through her sobs, words for healing, for love, for life. Then, the core behind them pulsed again. The transmission completed. A soft female voice echoed in Sarathi language, then translated in English. One connection remains. Would you offer part of your soul to restore another? Ayla looked up. Yes, she said without hesitation. Take whatever you need. Just bring him back. The chamber dimmed. Light surrounded them both. Her glow faded, transferring into James's body. His chest rose slowly. His eyes opened. Ayla, he whispered. She collapsed into his arms, her glow now dim but her smile strong. You came back, she said softly. He held her close. I always promised I would. High above the alien planet, a signal reached Earth. Commanders watched the holograms in silence, seeing Sarathi walking beside humans, watching the truth unfold. A message blinked on their screens. Alliance confirmed. Prepare for first contact. Far below in the ruins of the Sarathi chamber, Ayla and James sat beside each other under the rising twin moons, tired, bruised, but alive. I thought I lost you, she whispered. James looked at her, taking her, hand in his. You did, but you found me again. The bond beyond species. The sun rose slowly over Serena 4. Twin beams of golden light spilled across the valley, washing over broken stones, glowing trees, and the ancient ruins now silent and still. Birds with crystal wings flew across the pink sky. Peace had returned. James sat beside Ayla on a large flat rock, overlooking the valley. His wounds were wrapped, his breathing steady. Ayla leaned against him, her head on his shoulder. Her body no longer glowed, but her smile was real. They didn't speak at first. Words weren't needed, everything had changed, and yet nothing had. I thought you were a dream, James said finally. Ayla laughed softly. You always said I looked like one. I didn't mean glowing eyes and floating through mist, he teased. I was always the weird kid, she replied. Now I'm just a beautiful alien. He looked at her. You're more than that, Ayla. You're proof that love doesn't care what species we are. Her eyes sparkled. James, they're going to come now, aren't they? Earth Command, the Sarathi, the old enemies, everyone. James nodded. They'll all want answers. Peace talks, truth, maybe even war again. Ayla looked down. Do you think they'll accept me? James gently lifted her chin. They'll have to, because I won't accept a world without you. She blinked fast. Even like this? He smiled. Especially like this. A small alert chimed from James's wrist console. He tapped it. A hologram appeared. An incoming transmission from Earth Command. James Carter, report your status, the voice said. James glanced at Ayla. We're alive, he said. The transmission was sent. The Sarathi truth is out. The core activated. The commander's voice was quiet for a moment. And the girl? James looked straight into the hologram. Her name is Ayla. She's my childhood friend, my partner, my reason for surviving. She's not just part of this story. She is this story. More silence. Understood, the commander finally said. We're sending a diplomatic vessel. ETA, 3 days. Hold your position. The hologram vanished. Ayla stared at the sky. 3 days, what do we do until then? James looked down at her and grinned. Rebuild, rest, and maybe, he hesitated. Finally finish that mud castle we started as kids. She laughed again. You still remember that? I never forgot, he said softly. Just like I never forgot you. As the two sat in silence, a gentle breeze moved through the valley. Around them, new life began to grow. Tiny glowing flowers blooming from cracks in the ground, fed by the energy of the awakened core. The world was changing. So were they. Later that evening, as the twin moons returned to the sky, Ayla pulled something from her robe. It was a small piece of the memory crystal, split in half. She offered one to James. What's this? He asked. A symbol, she said, of what we share. You keep one half. I'll keep the other. It will always glow if the other person is alive. He held it carefully. That's beautiful. She leaned in, resting her forehead against his. I'm not human anymore, she whispered, but I love like one. James smiled and whispered back, then love is more human than we ever knew. Far beyond the stars, Earth and Sarathi diplomats would sit at tables, sign treaties, and rewrite history books. But none of it mattered more than this. One human, one alien, one unbreakable bond, born from memory, forged through fire, and sealed with love beneath the twin moons of Serena 4.